practices in the morning.
Yeah, the last few years I've done this, I've noticed after about 11.
Yeah. Angle with the light in it. Oh yeah.
My name's Edward Fleming. I'm a sculptor from Galisteo, New Mexico, and we're at the River Market show along with 30 or 40 other artists. So I was going to talk this morning about this particular piece, which is titled Jealousy, which I think most people would recognize as maybe one of the more maligned human emotions, one that's maybe more stigmatized than most. We're not supposed to feel this emotion, and if we do, there's something wrong with this. Somehow, I can't think of the word now. Anyway, it's an emotion that's really ripe with a lot of controversy, but for good reason. Anyway, this is one of 3 sculptures that I've made about this particular subject. The intention is to show in the piece itself all these conflicting energies from anger, sadness, remorse, grief, combined and conflicted with other emotions that have to do with hope, whether it's realistic hope or just imagined, and the kind of terror that goes on in a person when they're experiencing. So this was actually originally a study particularly for the face for the portrait. This grew into a large stone sculpture, a piece about this high, which incorporates more of the body coming out of the stone and still the face. For me, it was really important to capture the expression in a very particular way. So I modeled this in clay originally. I'm a stone sculptor generally, but I do working clay for studies. I typically do smaller maquettes for larger stone pieces. This I did full size. And this was a self-portrait. So I was looking into a mirror while I made this piece of clay. It's actually a reverse image of me. It's what you would see in the mirror rather than what you would see here in the film. So even though it's a self-portrait, it's not entirely recognizable for just that simple reason, because things are reversed. But the idea is to show just this conflict, and it's a process where there are obvious things happening, like anger, and that's what the flames coming out of the head represent. In fact, when you look around, the flames are actually coming up the spine, and then coalescing up the top of the head, and then bursting up in the air above that. And in the finished stone piece, his stance is more like this. He's looking in the same direction. And the idea is, this is getting into the left and right symbolism, so that he's looking to the right, which right is typically associated with the male, with the masculine, with the warrior, if you will. Although his right hand, which is his fighting hand, is actually coming over from the left and is reaching out in hope. Maybe it's vain hope, but he's still reaching out in hope to the person that is an integral part of this emotion in the first place. So there's this stripe, there's this left and right stripe, there's this up and down stripe, and it's all about very powerful, painful emotion. I had the misfortune to be in a long-term relationship where I was experiencing this daily, and it got to a point in my life where it was taking up way too much space in here and in here. So I've done other sculptures, cathartic sculptures like this, where rather than trying to step around and cure the problem by whatever means, I face it, I embrace it, and this is what I did with this. So I did a lot of reading. I read a half a dozen technical, professorial books about the subject, as well as fiction books, but mostly non-fiction books about just the study, the psychological study, the history of it, even the evolutionary history of the emotion of jealousy. And one of the things I found out is that there are actually some very positive aspects to jealousy. In our current society, again, you're not supposed to feel this. It's a bad emotion. It's something that shows weakness or whatever. The truth is, the jealousy, at least at some levels, is a signal of how much you value a relationship, how important it is. It's a red flag that begins to go off. So if your mate is important to you, and something is shifting that makes you feel uneasy, beginning to feel this emotion, it's a great signal to say, something's not right here. What can I do to correct the problem? What can I do to enhance and to nourish this relationship? So to that respect, it's good. But there are a lot of ways where this emotion can get completely out of control. And I think when you start to feel flames coming off the top of your head, you know it's in that out of control place. So anyway, I did this first study, intending it for it only to be a study from where I would then go into stone carving. I like the way this turned out enough to make a mold in cast in bronze, and this allowed me to work in color as well too. I don't know, can this camera pick up images from two-dimensional images?
A little bit. But it may be best to reference the website, I don't know.
Or even the website, yeah. But, sorry. Maybe something. There we go. This is the finished stone piece. Is there too much glare on that, or?
Just fold it forward just a little. There we go.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
You begin to get a sense of what it's like in the finished piece here.
Yeah.
But again, the stone I was carving in was monochromatic. This is an opportunity to play with color as well too, to enhance that. So anyway, the process of actually there was a second stone sculpture I carved as well from that. And it was truly a cathartic experience. It worked me through understanding it deeply enough that I could step back from it, no longer have it control my life, and it was a very healing process.
Wonderful.
I'll tell you one last piece about this. I had this stone piece, which is about 4 feet tall, installed on a pedestal, about a 3-foot-high pedestal. So the eye level is, at about my height. I installed it in a community center in Colorado for a 1-year-long art show. The stone sculpture weighs about 1,000 pounds in half the time. It took us an entire morning to install it on site. This was a juried show, nationally juried show. We had it in place. I thought it was a perfect site for it. It was at the top of a long flight of stairs that came from the lower level of the community center to where it was displayed in the main lobby. And everyone was really excited about the placement. It looked great. The light on it was beautiful. And about a week later, I got a phone call from the show organizer saying, well, we have a problem. Small children are having nightmares from seeing your sculpture. It's making them and their parents really uncomfortable, so we have to move it.
Good luck.
So, we ended up actually having to move the piece to a different part of the building, but still, I thought it was interesting to see the kind of reaction a piece like this would have, even to younger people who probably had never experienced that emotion. But it's a piece that is not a Hallmark piece. It's not a sort of feel-good, fuzzy sculpture, but it draws from a deep source of emotion, and I think that's what gives it its strength. And it's not appealing to everyone, but I think for those whose heart is open enough to look at this, and it works.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.